It's heavy because Donald Trump equal face Obadiah face Trump. They know the truth, man. You know, but here it was black supremacist death cult behind blacks for Trump. You see, Donald Trump. These elites know we're the Israelites, man. Hebrew Israelites, and they're gonna try to demonize us. Very soon, they're gonna demonize us in their fucking witchcraft Jewish media. I'm gonna play this clip. Black. We're not black. We're Hebrew Israelites.
This is Robert Rozier, R-O-Z-I-E-R. Robert Rozier was born in Alaska. He was a really, really excellent football player. He went to UC Berkeley. He played defensive end for Cal. And then after his time at Cal, he was drafted into the NFL. In the 1979 NFL draft, he was a 9th round draft pick. He went to the St. Louis Cardinals. Unfortunately for Robert Rozier and for the Cardinals, though, he did not last even half a season. He ended up getting kicked off the Cardinals squad. He banged around the league for not all that many weeks. He did end up playing for a little while in Canada, but ultimately Robert Rozier ended up back in the United States and in prison. Ultimately, after that prison term, by 1982, he had landed himself in a cult in South Florida. And like lots of cults, the one that Robert Rozier found himself in the Miami area in the early 1980s, it was headed up by a guy who proclaimed himself to be...
It's funny you had that summit down there too, man. You know, in Miami.
The Messiah. He called himself Lord, Son of the Lord.
Lord, Son of the Lord, man. Was he set up by the elites, man? We're not ignorant of your devices, man, but what this devil's going to do is going to equate all of us with this bullshit. It's going to cause a terrorist attack, cause an agent provocateur, have him do some stupid shit, put in the media and demonize, which they did that anyway. They just did that earlier this week. Demonize us, man, through his media, his witchcraft, his sorcery.
Himself Yahweh ben Yahweh. And in the Miami area, specifically... He called
himself Lord of the Lord. Who the fuck is he, man? He ain't Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is the one that's going to bring us to the kingdom, man. Ain't no fucking men on earth.
In Miami Gardens in Carroll City, Yahweh ben Yahweh and his cult, they actually built themselves up into a little bit of an empire. There were kind of a lot of them. They fixed up decrepit housing. They built themselves a big headquarters. They ran...
And you got agents now in these different camps, these different schools, man. Not teaching the Lord's name, teaching Christ. Not teaching his real name, which is Yahweh Shai, and the Father's name, which is Yahweh. But they got Hebrew names, though.
Bible study and homeschool for kids out of their big compound. They ran a bunch of different businesses. They had buses and vehicles and trucks. They even made products. There was apparently Yahweh beer and Yahweh soda and Yahweh hair products. Behold, Yahweh ice cream from the time. And even though the Yahweh ben Yahweh thing, it really was a cult, really was run by a guy who said he was God, they did do some good in their community, and they got some positive attention for the good things that they did in their community. Yahweh ben Yahweh was invited to address a group of Miami business leaders at one point in the 1980s, and they might have forgotten he was a cult leader, might have thought of him as just a community leader, until he got up and told them, quote, Egypt has her pyramids, India has her Taj Mahal, France has her Eiffel Tower, Miami has me. Miami, he said, has the son of Yahweh, the world's greatest...
See? That violent cult. That's what these devils going to do with the media, man. A violent cult. We ain't telling our people to do any violent acts. If you do, you're fucking an idiot. You're retarded. Because our weapons of warfare are spiritual, not carnal, man. 2 Corinthians 2:11, which Lord's going to destroy this empire. What's about violence? Yahweh Shai, the man you call Jesus Christ, when he comes back, this place is going to be nuked, man. He's coming back to destroy America. Yahweh Shai. Not no man on earth. We ain't got no power, man. I'm going to read it again. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of devices. We're not ignorant of devices, man. The Jewish media, man. The routers control the Associated Press routers, man. Who controls that? The Rothschilds, the elites, because this word is getting out, man. And these elites know who we are.
This attraction is here in your midst.
They know we're going to get the kingdom. So they're going to try any which way to demonize us. Violent cult, a death cult, a black Hebrew Israelites, man. When we're Hebrew Israelites, man. Then you can have Israelite foreigners. Israelites looking like the other nations, speaking the different tongues. That's why this devil's gonna make a move soon, man. My brother just had a dream that the news came to speak to us, man. Now that's the spirit of the Esau that demonizes through his media, man. His witchcraft.
I'm here. By October of 1990, the mayor of Miami actually proclaimed Yahweh ben Yahweh Day for the city of Miami in recognition.
That's how you know he was set up. Because they ain't gonna do that to the real prophets, the real men of the Lord.
For this cult leader's accomplishments, for what his cult had done that was good for the city of Miami. Sadly, within a month of Yahweh ben Yahweh Day being proclaimed in Miami, within a month of that was October 1990, by November 1990, the whole thing had actually turned into a horror movie. On November 7th, 1990, happened to be the day after Election Day that year, Yahweh ben Yahweh himself, his cult leader, and 15 of his followers were all indicted on horrific charges. A whole litany of charges, including racketeering and violent crime. This is a case that had been a long time coming. But the centerpiece of their indictment was conspiracy to murder 14 different people. The cult was blamed for 14 different deaths. At trial, there was testimony that in order to become part of the inner circle of this cult in Miami in the 80s, the cult leader, Yahweh ben Yahweh, he demanded a sort of entrance fee to get into the inner circle. The entrance fee was you had to kill a white person and bring Yahweh ben Yahweh either that white person's severed head,
you see that?
or if you couldn't manage the severed head, you at least had to bring
him. Who in their right mind is going to do something like that, man? Who, you know what I mean? Who in their right mind is going to give an order like that, man? This is set up, man. Agent provocateurs, man. They set up to kill a white person. When have you seen us ever preach that? To kill anybody. We're telling you what the Lord's going to do, man. And the Lord's going to give his men spiritual power. Spiritual power. I'm not saying to go out there and kill anybody. But that's what they do in the media. They demonize. They use that demonization through their fucking media, man. That's what they're going to do. We're about to get blasted in the media real soon because this truth is spreading out like wildfire, man. This devil want to stop this word from getting out. But you devils ain't stopping a goddamn thing, man. America's still going to be destroyed. You Rothschilds, the Edomites, you're going to slavery. And America's going to be, it's going to be a nuclear holocaust coming to America. In this third world war. That's prophesying the scriptures, man. No matter what you do to us, no matter how much you blast us in the media, who gives a fuck? The prophecy is still going to come to play, man. It's still going to come to pass. They're playing as we speak.
An ear. And that's how he'd let you into the inner circle of his cult.
That's bullshit, man.
Robert Rozier, who'd had that promising football career at Cal and in the NFL, at that trial, he confessed to taking part in 7 murders for the cult. At the end of that trial, Yahweh ben Yahweh and most of the other people who were put on trial with him were convicted of various crimes. And the Yahweh cult in South Florida is still famous to this day because of the number of people that they killed, right? They were a black supremacist.
Black. You see that? You see that?
Serial killing death cult that was really visible in Miami, and for a time it held sway over some portions of some neighborhoods in the city of Miami, but then it all quickly unraveled into this incredibly gruesome serial killer story.
And that puts a stain on all Hebrew Israelites. That's what this devil does. He set up agent provocateurs to do a violent act and says all black Hebrew Israelites are the same. You can demonize all the camps, man. Even you other camps that sold out, man, to them. That was going to turn and bite your ass, man.
And the story itself, as a story, it was amazing. The Miami Herald in 1991, they won the Pulitzer Prize for a series of more than 80 articles that they did on the Yahweh ben Yahweh cult. The Miami Herald tracked down defectors from the cult. They ultimately tracked down documentation that linked the cult leader and the cult members to the 14 different deaths that the cult was associated with that ultimately got them all charged. It was incredible reporting for the Miami Herald. Nowadays, it's the Miami New Times, the alternative weekly in Miami, that has sort of taken up the baton on Yahweh ben Yahweh death cult reporting. And their angle on it now, the reason they've had to
what they're going to do, man. They're going to do that again. They're going to demonize us. And all we're doing is preaching the Bible, preaching the scriptures, man. I ain't tell nobody to pick up guns and shit, man. We're spiritual. This is spiritual weapons. These scriptures, Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil The devil is come down unto you having great wrath because he know but he had but a short time. Because he knows his empire is about to be destroyed. So his way to try to suppress his word is to demonize us, man. But that's the famine of the word that's going to come. It's going to come a time we ain't going to do no more videos. We ain't going to be out there teaching, man. And that's when the judgment going to come on this earth, man.
That up now in 2016 is because this year the Miami New Times has taken it upon themselves to remind everybody about this serial murdering black supremacist Miami death cult from the early 90s.
Yep. And they're going to do it again. They're going to set up agent provocateurs and demonize all of us, man. So this word can be stopped. But you ain't going to stop this word, man. This word's still going to go out.
Whenever this guy shows up, see the guy with the sign there, Blacks for Trump? Whenever that guy shows up at a Donald Trump rally. That guy there. You have seen that guy with the Blacks for Trump sign, gods2.com at Donald Trump rallies. You see him going back for a few months now. Trump event organizers seem to go out of their way to put that guy, the guy with his blacks.
He was connected with Yahweh